Give us a little bit of a background to why the different sort of colored lenses, why they're important. Also, possibly what people can do with regards to which are the most important, because budgets is always a concern. I'm
Mm.
at Made to Thrive. The red and orange are probably the most important to use, especially at night. Once the sun has set, as much as you can to keep your world yellow and orange. But give us sort of a background on the different lenses.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, over the years we've sat there and we've kind of looked at all these different situations of different light filtering and blocking we need to do and created different lens types based on that. So we do have four different types now. We've got two devoted to daytime and then two around nighttime. So I'll quickly discuss the daytime ones. We have what we call our clear lens. It's technically not crystal clear because if it was, it would really not be doing a hell of a lot, which is a lot of the ones we do see on in the marketplace now, like Amazon and all these, cheap
Yeah.
sort of $20 pairs. Ours are a bit different. So there is a little bit of a there is pigments inside there that literally absorb the light as it passes through. Those are really good for the daytime as a set of computer glasses. They look like a normal set of glasses. So if someone's like conscious of how they look and they don't want to draw attention to themselves, these are a really good option for the daytime where you can't control your lighting, you're on screens. They're going to reduce your blue light down by 50%. But what's actually important is not just they're going to reduce your blue light down. That's very a generic way of looking at it. We need to look at the specifics. We actually need to look at what frequencies of blue light are coming off your screen and your LED light, and what are you being exposed to from an artificial source. And when we look at blue light, there's a range. It's measured in nanometers from 400 to 500 nanometers. It's a very short, narrow spike that we actually are getting from these devices and digital sources. So it's around the 455 nanometer mark. There's a very, very sharp, big spike in it. So re really, you need a set of glasses that are actually going to reduce the 455 and around that area down. Most of the stuff around these clear lenses, they've got a basic coating, reflective coating on the outside that can only normally reduce blue light up to 430 nanometers. It actually can't get past that. The reflecting technology just doesn't allow it. So that's where you need to use something like ours, which has got melanin pigments inside the lenses. They actually absorb the light as it comes through. So those ones will drop that 455 spike by 50%. So that's a really good option for most people working indoors, working under screens a lot, wanting to help the eyes, eye strains, headaches, dry eyes, just
Mm.
and just allowing them to focus. Now we've got to step up from that. That's our yellow lens. That is a more optimal option. The problem with that, I guess, is people are a bit conscious about how they look in them potentially. So they might be in a social setting or a corporate environment and it's just not suitable for them. That's where the clear ones is a better option. But if you're a biohacker and you don't really care or you work from home, like you want the best, these will reduce or eliminate that blue light spike completely. So it just drops it down to zero. But then from 455 nanometers up to 500, it's actually allowing all the blue light through. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. We're eliminating the massive spike completely that we're being exposed to from these unnatural sources, but then we're allowing what would be is the more natural light in the room of that blue light past, which actually is controlling our circadian rhythm, our serotonin, dopamine pathways is still coming through. So they're really good for people also who are like very, very sensitive to light, have migraine attacks, although and just yeah, they don't do well or they're ultra sensitive to that light. So those are really good options there. Then we move to the nighttime. Nighttime's a bit different, so we need to eliminate blue light completely. Any signal of blue light coming into your eyes and potentially on the skin, which we can talk about later, will essentially, in some way, shape, or form, will send a signal of daytime to the brain. So even if there was 5% coming through to your eyes, it's suboptimal. Your brain's going to kind of go, well, it's designed to understand that the only natural source of blue light is the sun. If I'm still getting any blue light into my eyes, the sun is still up. So we really need to eliminate it. We initially brought out our redder type lens, so that blocks 100% of blue light and green light up to 550 nanometers. So green light actually starts at the 500 nanometer range and runs through to 570. Now, why did we block the green? So there was a piece of research that came out in 2001 and it looked at pretty much every frequency of light and its level of melatonin disruption. And what that study concluded was that the peak melatonin disruption happened at 464 nanometers, so just past midway of the blue spectrum, but it was a big bell curve essentially. So on the way down of that curve, there's hit the 500, and there was still a whole bunch more of melatonin disruption happening right through into the green. So to a lesser degree, but certainly still having an impact. So when we first created our night lens, we said, well, if we want it to be optimal and be removing all the frequencies of light that we really shouldn't be exposed to at night, it needs to block 100% of blue and green light from 400 to 550 nanometers. So that's what we did, and it works extremely well, like extremely well. Sometimes if you put them on too early, you're falling asleep on the couch a bit early, but they work very well. And then because we've been doing this for a number of years now, obviously we've taken in a lot of feedback. We've had thousands and thousands of people use them, and we did notice a common trend in these different types of people that are buying the glasses for different reasons. So you've got probably people like you and me and some of your patients and stuff that are like hardcore biohackers. They know that this is the science. I need this to get the best result, right? So they love the red lenses, they'll use them. But then you've got the people maybe that they're skeptical, they're not too sure, they're not really into health as much, mate, but they've been told this might help, and they chuck a set of the red lenses on. They're like, oh no, I can't do this. It's everything's I can't see, I can't watch my TV show anymore. And so what we were finding is that group of people would they'd try them and be like, nah, and they'd just send them back, and then they'd go back to wearing nothing. And I'm like, well, surely there's some middle ground where we can still help them. Let's say we don't need to be the most optimal, but hey, like it's still going to have a significant impact. So we created the lighter amber lens, which still blocks 100% of blue light. We just stop at the 500 nanometer mark, and we allow that little bit of green through. Makes it a lot lighter, makes it a bit more usable in the evening, so you can actually simulate a bit more color through it. And that's the other option. So that suits people, that just want a bit more color. Sometimes like working at night it can be a bit difficult sometimes where you do want it, or you can actually use both, and you can go early evening amber, later evening red. Like, I don't say that's a necessary thing, but that's if people are getting really into their dialing it in. But a question you asked is like, around people on a budget, what's the best thing for them? What can they do? And I would say the biggest impact is getting a set of the night ones. Like obviously either option, if you can handle the red ones, that's probably if you just one pair of glasses, that's my pick. It's going to have the biggest impact on your circadian rhythm and your overall health. And then if you did have, I just would stress to not use those during the day, because we get people that are like, oh, I just want one pair that I can kind of use all the time, and it's like, oh no, I don't want. And it's sort of like, well, don't, like, you're doing more harm than good if you wear those during the day. So just I stress it so much, like, just use them. Then just there isn't such thing as a perfect pair for day and night based on our requirements of different light.